My name is Tony, and in this video, I'm going to explain what Team of Teams is, as described in the New York Times best-selling book by General Stanley McChrystal. What is Team of Teams? Team of Teams is a philosophy and strategic approach to managing organizational structure and the processes to allow for increased effectiveness in volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environments. It is not a prescriptive how-to model of how to manage workflow to increase efficiency. Background. From the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, we have seen a rise in and drive to increase efficiency in our work and processes. This is described as mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive, or MECE, models. Examples of MECE models include Henry Ford's assembly line, the development of just-in-time delivery, and the classic functional org chart. All of these are examples of tightly controlled, specialized processes designed to be efficient. Do one thing and do it right. This is the evolution of simple tasks, work, or processes involving a single or small number of sequential tasks to complicated work, where there is a high number of sequential, possibly dependent work that results in an outcome. Critical path theory and even the dreaded Gantt chart in project management are good examples of this. The 21st century, as argued in Team of Teams, has seen a rise in the number of complex systems, processes, and environments. Complex is defined as a multiple input, mutually influencing, non-sequential series of activities that produce a result. In Team of Teams, the example of weather is used to illustrate complex. Our inability to precisely calculate specific weather conditions in an exact location is because of the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous relationship between all the elements involved in weather. While our models can provide us a range of likely weather outcomes in the short term, the longer the forecast, the less accurate it becomes, as the mutually influencing elements and dynamic variables of weather conditions, topography, cloud cover, humidity, rotation of the Earth, and influence of gravity, and many more, exert their compounding influence over time. How accurate is your 10-day, 3-day, or daily forecast? NASA's Apollo program is an example of a successful response to a volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, or VUCA environment. At the time of JFK's proclamation of sending a man to the moon and having them return safely to Earth, there were more unknowns than knowns. The environment of space was volatile and uncertain. Van Allen belts, solar radiation, even the surface of the moon was unknown. The solutions were ambiguous because it had never been done before, and the process of discovering those solutions would be complex. In the end, the Apollo program was a phenomenal success, accomplishing its goal in just over 8 years, thanks to a system and process very similar to Team of Teams. Compare this to the dysfunctional NASA of the 1980s, the Challenger disaster, and the MECE bureaucratic and administrative structures that were in place. Compare it to over 40 years of problematic government procurement or the dysfunction of the major auto manufacturers of North America who are being disrupted by a feisty little company called Tesla. In Team of Teams, the failure of these highly functional, efficient, and often administrative and bureaucratic organizations is attributed to their speed of execution, or lack of, and their inability to effectively adapt to change. The US military in 2003 was the epitome of the 20th century model of efficiency. Despite this, they were unable to respond quickly and effectively to the VUCA environment of insurgent warfare in Iraq. Slow communications, hierarchical decision-making processes, and siloed org structures denied the US military the agility to move quickly and drive results. How does Team of Teams work? Team of Teams has the goal of creating a common operating picture, or COP. This is the transparent and up-to-date, high-tempo radiation of information, specifically designed to break the siloed thinking of protecting information in small groups, instead pushing it out to everyone all at the same time. We all see the same picture. The COP in Team of Teams was shared in a daily event or ceremony called the Operations and Intelligence Brief, or O&I. The O&I was a mandatory, regularly scheduled, same bat time, same bat channel situation report from all stakeholders in the organization. In the beginning, this was initially Joint Special Operations Command, or JSOC, which would include intelligence officers, Navy SEALs, Army Special Forces, Rangers, and other elements of JSOC. It grew to include higher levels of the organization at the Pentagon and Fort Bragg, and eventually incorporated all stakeholders in the region: the CIA, FBI, NSA, diplomatic staff, embassies, and more. The more stakeholders that were added to the O&I, the greater the amount of information that was shared and contributed to the COP. During the O&I, General Stanley McChrystal, the commanding officer of JSOC, would ask questions and promote discussion with various stakeholders in order to create the next step in Team of Teams: shared consciousness. Shared consciousness is a common or similar thought process shared by the team that allows for the collective consensus on the information that decisions are based off of. Put another way, a single source of truth. This shared consciousness, shaped by the commander's vision and intent, with the regularly updated information, allows for the effectiveness of this system to take shape in empowering decentralized decision-making. In Team of Teams, McChrystal shares a story where his approval was required to authorize a missile strike. In order to do this, the operational information came into the operations center. The situation was assessed, and a decision to carry out a missile strike was agreed to by the subordinate commanders. These subordinate commanders needed to wake McChrystal up, brief him on the situation, and allow him to determine whether to authorize the strike. Once authorized, the subordinate commanders would return to the operations center and carry out the strike. This all takes time, and the target wasn't always still available when the subordinate commanders returned to execute the attack. McChrystal assessed that when briefed, the briefers knew more about the situation than he did. They had all the tools to make the best decision, and McChrystal usually agreed, often asking, "Do you want me to approve the strike?" And they would respond with a, "Why do you think we woke you up?" kind of look, and nod yes. McChrystal assessed that he was not necessary, so he delegated the decision-making process to his subordinate commanders. This increased effectiveness by reducing the risk that the time to authorize the attack would negatively impact the chance of success, increasing speed of execution. By empowering his team to make decisions based on the information of the shared consciousness and motivated by the shared vision, mission, and intent of McChrystal, JSOC dramatically improved results. Before implementing the Team of Teams approach, JSOC increased efficiency using the old system and improved their ability to execute raids from 10 to 18 per month, nearly doubling their effectiveness. Using the Team of Teams approach, JSOC executed 300 raids per month. That is a 30x increase, or put another way, executing as many raids in a day as they used to execute in a month. This is the eyes on, hands off philosophy. Eyes on, transparent communication, updates, and the O&I. Hands off, decentralized decision-making based on the best information, the O&I, and shared consciousness. To summarize, the old system was a top-down hierarchical approach that used MISI, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive, processes to control efficiency. In a stable, low rate and speed of change environment, this efficiency increases effectiveness. Once change is introduced, this process becomes ineffective. The command of teams, while maintaining the structure of the functional org chart and siloing various teams, can increase adaptability to change. However, it is slow to execute due to the reliance on the functional structure of reporting and communication inherent in the functional org chart. The example of the missile strike illustrates this point. Or imagine a quarterback in the NFL having to confirm with the coach before each play. Team of Teams combines the subject matter expertise of the old MECE approach, includes the generalized awareness of the COP, and through leadership's fostering of the culture of shared consciousness, allows the effective empowerment of the teams to act in support of the greater goal. In volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environments, the team of team approach excels. It supports a high operational tempo and rate of change, which seems to match the dynamic and fast-paced environments of the 21st century. If you've reached a point where single points of failure, choke points, or bottlenecks are impeding your progress, and the work, competition, or environment is leaving you behind, a team of teams approach may be able to help you become more effective. At the end of the day, prioritize doing the right things, not the thing right.